What happens when we find Thrawn?
Power, such as you've never dreamed.
Let's begin.
Who is this Jedi?
Ahsoka. Ahsoka.
Ahsoka Tano.
Hello there.
This is where the fun begins.
Hey there guys, unofficial Star Wars here. Hope you're all doing well, and welcome to my Ahsoka Episode 2 breakdown video. We are going to be discussing everything that we saw in this episode into the regards of Easter eggs, things that you might have missed throughout the episode, and different references. I'll also be discussing a fair share of my own thoughts and theories throughout the video as well. That there all being said, we are going to go ahead and hop right on into it. It should go without saying that yes, there are spoilers ahead for Ahsoka Episode 1 and 2. If you want a spoiler-free review, it's amazing. Go watch it. What are you doing? Onward with spoilers though, however. At the end of the premiere, Sabine Wren found herself at the end of receiving a pretty serious lightsaber wound and stab. Fortunately, Ahsoka's second episode wastes very little time assuring its audiences that the plucky rebel will be just fine. Ahsoka seems frustrated that the star map was stolen by Balin's apprentice Shin, but she also seems somewhat concerned about Sabine's well-being overall, even if the loss and the theft of the star map was due to Sabine disobeying the direct orders to stay on the ship. Unfortunately, not only did Shin take the star map, but she stole away with the unlocked star map, and assured that the droids destroyed all of Sabine's notes about what the map had actually revealed. Steph Green, who directed one of the strongest episodes of the Book of Boba Fett, returns to the director's chair for episode 2 of Ahsoka titled Toil and Trouble, and the marked difference between her style of direction versus Dave Filoni is felt almost immediately. Green has a way of making even the most mundane scenes feel dynamic, in part because of the way that she crafts her scenes, but also due to the lens through which she views the galaxy and Star Wars overall. Scenes are not left to feel static or disconnected from the bigger picture, and editing feels more crisper and more fast-paced. While Balin and Shin are one step closer to finding Thrawn on the far-off planet of Seotis, Ahsoka is focused on luring one of the droids back to Sabine's home on Lothal. With the droid's severed head in hand, Ahsoka lets Sabine try to crack into its memory bank to recover vital information on where maybe potentially Shin could be headed and where these droids were coming from. While she nearly causes it to implode, Sabine is able to discover that the droid had originally hailed from the planet of Corellia, a location of where Morgan Elsbeth once harbored her resources during the reign of the Empire. If the planet of Corellia may ring a bell, that's because that's where Han Solo is actually from. Before the episode follows Ahsoka on her journey to Corellia, it lingers on Sabine, who is out of commission for the better part of the episode. Sabine and Hera Syndulla discuss the uncomfortable tensions between the former master and apprentice, noting that it has been a few years since the two have crossed paths. This offers more about the timeline of when everything's taking place with the Ahsoka show, but it does add on to that resume of what we saw with episode 1 having a little bit of a compound issue with the overall timeline of the Ahsoka show. It has been revealed that in episode 1 that it's been several years since Ezra Bridger's sacrifice, and years since Ahsoka has trained Sabine, yet that broad timeline doesn't necessarily work with established events already. Despite Ahsoka's insistence that she doesn't need any help, Hera is convinced that she does and need help, pushing Sabine to offer her assistance as soon as she can and is healed up. Back on the planet of Seotis, Morgan Elsbeth arrives to investigate what Balin and Shin have discovered. With the star map now unlocked, Morgan is able to uncover the location of where Grand Admiral Thrawn has been banished. Balin refers to this as the pathway to Peridia, saying that it was once a folklore tale that was told at the Jedi Temple. And I have to say, this scene is so interesting, and it offers to just how big the Star Wars universe really just got. The Star Wars story overall, through all of its movies and shows, have always taken place in one galaxy, and now they're expanding it off to have multiple more galaxies, now revealing to that's where Thrawn could be. Morgan Elsbeth asserts that Thrawn is calling to her across time and space, calling back to Star Wars Rebels, which established that Thrawn and Ezra Bridger are in the world between worlds. Shin seems uncertain about what will happen once they do locate Thrawn, but Balin assures her that once he is located, that they will receive power like never before. As episode 1 established, her master and apprentice duo has been set up as a foil to Ahsoka Ahsoka and Sabine, so perhaps this is setting up seeds of doubt in Shin. On the planet of Corellia, Ahsoka and Hera arrive to investigate Morgan's facilities, and unsurprisingly, they are met with a bouquet of mess and dubious politics from former Imperial sympathizers. Ahsoka is a far cry from what Andor thought to do with its lush exploration of the galaxy's political intrigue, but this did prove to be a compelling aspect of the episode. While the Mandoverse series will likely never live up to the prestige of what Andor was able to accomplish with its political sides, at the very least Ahsoka acknowledges the turmoil in the post-Empire era, and I do believe that the show will have a lot more in exploring with that later down in the season. As they venture out to Morgan's abandoned facility, Hera tries her best to convince Ahsoka to take Sabine on as her apprentice again, though Ahsoka seems hesitant to go down that path once more. Whether if Ahsoka resumes training, Sabine is rooted in a fear of repeating old cycles of trauma or the genuine doubt in Sabine's skills. It's just not clear yet. Sabine, however, has made her mind up about what went down between her and her former master, and has come to terms with it and getting over it. During a conversation with Huyang, Sabine reveals that it was Ahsoka who had abandoned her training, seemingly without cause, leaving Sabine with a pretty big chip on her shoulder. Huyang attempts to assure her that Ahsoka really did want and need her help with the star map, but Sabine is quite convinced that the only reason why she was ever made aware of the search for Ezra was because of Hera. Huyang is excellent at playing devil's advocate or being logical, as he boasts, by reminding Sabine that she never indicated that she wanted to return to training. He also employs a little tough love by telling her that she never was a very good student or as skilled as Ezra, but he wraps it into a reminder that essentially the only way to get better is to actually try. They also mention into the idea of that while Sabine isn't force sensitive like every other Jedi is really supposed to be. Once and for all answering that fan question and theory out there as of whether or not Sabine is force sensitive, it seems that the answer to that is no. The battle between Ahsoka and the Inquisitor Merrick was really awesome. I think there was a few things here and there that could have gone better with these highly skilled lightsaber combat characters. My only two issues with that lightsaber battle was that while Ahsoka has white lightsabers, and the background was in a very white lit kind of scenario in there, so it was a bit hard to make out her lightsaber blades, and also for the fact that we didn't get the helicopter from the Inquisitor and his lightsaber like we see in Rebels. Merrick is quite the mysterious character in his own right, as his helmet and lack of dialogue obscure his true identity. This character will undoubtedly spawn a dozen of well-formulated theories and questions, though it's unclear as of yet if Dave Filoni aims to take the predictable route with the character. While his duel with Ahsoka isn't as thrilling as it could have been because of the color choices, at least Hera's fancy footwork in the sky, which assures that they can still track Shin's vessel, makes up for it. Her ace piloting is made even sweeter due to everyone's favorite murder droid, Chopper, causing a little mayhem along the way. Back in Lothal, Sabine pulls her Mandalorian armor out of storage and mulls over the decision to chop her hair off, which she does, and returns to who she once was. Unlike the Mandalorians that the Mandalorian has introduced to casual fans, her clan is dissimilar from both Din Djarin's and Bo-Katan's. Still, her dual-colored hair won't fit to her helmet without her shearing off a decent chunk of it. Ahsoka seems as though she expected this turn of events when she climbs aboard her vessel and cues up Sabine's message to her. In the end, Hera was right. They both needed each other, even if their history is still clouded in mystery about what really went wrong. Before setting off on her new mission with Ahsoka on track Shin's vessel down to Seotis, Sabine visits the mural of the Ghost Crew and studies Ezra for a long moment. For fans of Rebels, this moment will feel special and steeped into a history that only they know, but for casual fans, the show hasn't fully established why the audience should really care about Ezra, which I can't wait to see what they do with that. Aboard the Eye of the Scion, Morgan reveals that what they are nearly done outfitting the starship with the new hyperdrives that can get them to Thrawn's location. Their victory is undercut by the knowledge that Ahsoka is determined to track them down though, however, a fact that seems to be bothering Baylan. Shin is convinced that they made a clean getaway, but Baylan can sense that Ahsoka is on their trail. The final moments of the episode are neatly designed to make you want to hit play on the next, but fans will have to wait another week to see what happens when Ahsoka and Sabine do track down their foils in the Force. Overall, not only does episode 2 of Ahsoka begin to really pick up with its pacing and really get the story going, but I also believe that it heavily sets things up already for where the show is really going to go, setting up new possibilities in the Star Wars franchise with introducing other galaxies really being a thing, bringing old characters like Sabine back to her good old self and wanting to get back into that fight, and also offering up of what other areas in the Mandoverse could really look like the cancelled Rangers of the New Republic show could pick back up and rekindle as Hera would take that show over entirely, cracking down on Imperial remnants. Episode 2 is just a small taste of what the entirety of Ahsoka Season 1 is going to bring to the table, and it's going to be big. Guys, let me know all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. What did you guys think about Ahsoka Episode 2? And if you didn't already, go check out my Episode 1 breakdown video here on the channel as well, and comment down below your thoughts and opinions on Episode 1. I would love to hear what you guys are all thinking. I love to discuss this with you guys in the comment section down below. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Of course, this has been Unofficial Star Wars. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great one. May the Force be with you as always. Peace out.